Why your life has been so hard, the truth for the chosen ones. Chosen one, this message is not for everyone. If you found yourself here, it is not by accident. Your life has been hard in ways most people will never understand. Not just physically, but spiritually, emotionally, internally. From a young age, you felt different. You carried depth while others carried ease. You noticed things early. You felt things deeply. And before you even understood who you were, life began pressing you. You didn't ask for the struggle. You didn't choose the battles. Yet they came anyway. And you asked God questions you never got answers to. Why me? Why so much pain? Why does it seem harder for me than everyone else? Chosen one, your life has been hard because your calling is heavy. God never gives light assignments to strong spirits. And He never builds powerful vessels in comfortable environments. You were not designed for an ordinary path. You were built for purpose, and purpose requires pressure. That is why your childhood was not soft. That is why your heart matured early. That is why disappointment followed you closely. That is why rejection became familiar. You were being shaped before you understood you were clay. Some people were allowed to grow slowly. You were accelerated through fire. Not because God disliked you, but because He trusted you. Chosen ones are trained differently. You went through things that forced you to develop discernment. You learned how to read rooms. You learned how to survive emotional storms. You learned how to stand alone without applause. That was not accidental. Your struggle was preparation for authority. You see, when God places a calling on someone's life, the enemy notices early. That is why attacks came before you had language for your purpose. That is why confusion tried to wrap around your identity. That is why distraction, delay, and discouragement followed you. The enemy does not fight what carries no threat. They attacked you because of what you carry, and still you survived. There were moments you should have broken, moments you should have quit, moments where giving up would have made sense. But something in you refused to die. That wasn't luck. That was divine preservation. Your life was hard because God was building resilience into your spirit. You were learning how to endure, how to forgive, how to stand when no one claps, how to trust God without evidence. Chosen one, many people will never understand your journey because they were never meant to walk it. You lost people you thought would stay forever. You outgrew rooms that once felt safe. You experienced betrayal that forced you into silence. Isolation was not punishment. It was protection. God separated you to prevent contamination. He removed voices so you could hear His. He allowed loneliness so you would learn divine intimacy. You were never abandoned. You were being trained. There are lessons you can only learn when no one is watching. There is strength you only build when support disappears. There is clarity that only comes in solitude. That's why God hid you, not because you were unqualified, but because you were too valuable to expose too early. Hidden seasons are painful because you know there's more inside you, yet nothing around you reflects it. You feel delayed, overlooked, forgotten, but heaven never forgot you. Chosen one, delay does not mean denial. It means development. What feels like waiting is actually alignment. God was shaping your character before He revealed your gift. Because exposure without character destroys destinies. Your life was hard because God was protecting your future. You also faced spiritual warfare you couldn't explain. Mood shifts, heavy thoughts, unexplainable resistance. That wasn't weakness. That was opposition. The closer you got to purpose, the louder the resistance became. The more aware you became, the heavier the pressure felt. But notice this, you are still here. The fact that you survived what tried to end you is proof that you are chosen. Chosen ones are not spared from pain, they are preserved through it. And now something is changing. You can feel it. The heaviness is lifting. The confusion is breaking. The fear is losing its grip. This season feels different because it is different. God is shifting you from preparation to manifestation, from hidden to revealed, from survival to assignment. Your past pain is becoming wisdom. Your tears are becoming authority. Your scars are becoming testimony. Everything you endured is about to make sense. The very things that hurt you are the things God will use through you. You were not meant to blend in. You were meant to stand out. You were not created to fit systems, you were created to shift them. Chosen one, your life was hard because you were being built for impact. Now hear this clearly. You are not late. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are right on schedule. What God started in you, He will finish. What He promised, He will perform. What He prepared you for, you will walk in. Your story is not over. Your chapter is turning. And everything that tried to stop you failed. Because you are chosen. Chosen one, there is something else you must understand. Your life was hard not only because of what God was building in you, but because of what He planned to do through you. Some people are chosen for comfort. Others are chosen for impact. You were chosen for impact. That is why your heart carries compassion you didn't ask for. That is why injustice bothers you deeply. That is why you feel called to help, to heal, to guide, to speak, to uplift. Your sensitivity is not weakness. It is spiritual awareness. You feel deeply because you were designed to reach deeply. And because of that, God had to strengthen you early. If your life had been easy, you might have depended on people instead of God. If your path had been smooth, you might have settled for less than your calling. So God allowed resistance, not to crush you, but to root you. Chosen one, every hardship taught you something essential. Pain taught you empathy. Betrayal taught you discernment. Loss taught you surrender. Delay taught you patience. Isolation taught you identity. You didn't just survive, you learned. That is why today you see clearly. That is why you can sense motives. That is why your spirit recognizes truth quickly. You paid a price for this level of awareness. And now heaven is about to use it. There were seasons where you prayed and nothing changed. You fasted and nothing moved. You cried and still had to wake up strong. Those seasons were not wasted prayers. God was building endurance into your faith. You were learning how to trust God without signs, how to believe without proof, how to stand without reassurance. That kind of faith cannot be taught. It must be forged. Chosen one, you were forged. And that is why the enemy worked overtime to discourage you. He whispered lies. You're behind. You missed your chance. You're not enough. Nothing will ever change. But notice, those lies never became your identity. They passed through your mind, but they never owned your spirit. Because truth was already planted in you. Even when you doubted yourself, you never fully doubted God. That is the mark of the chosen. You may have questioned the timing, but you never questioned His existence. You may have felt weak, but you never fully walked away. You bent, you struggled, you cried, but you stayed. And heaven noticed. Chosen one, obedience in the dark is louder than obedience in the light. God saw you when no one else did. He heard prayers you never spoke out loud. He counted tears you wiped away in silence. And now the season is shifting. You are entering a phase where your inner work begins to show outwardly, where your voice gains weight, where your presence carries authority. People will start to feel safe around you without knowing why. Others will feel uncomfortable around you without understanding it. Both are signs of power. Light attracts and exposes at the same time. Do not shrink when visibility increases. Do not dim yourself to make others comfortable. You did not endure all that pain to hide now. Chosen one, this is the season to stand fully in who you are. Speak when led. Move when directed. Rest when God says rest. You are no longer in survival mode. You are stepping into assignment mode. An assignment always follows preparation. Your life was hard because you were being trained for leadership, even if you never asked for it. Leadership of spirit, leadership of example, leadership of presence. You lead by how you love, by how you endure, by how you remain grounded. You don't need a title to be influential. You already shift atmospheres. And now hear this carefully. What comes next will require courage. Not the courage to survive, but the courage to be seen. God is about to answer prayers you prayed years ago, and it will happen faster than you expect. Stay humble, stay aligned, stay obedient. The same God who carried you through the hard seasons. will guide you through the open doors. Chosen one, your life was hard because it was being prepared for something holy. This is only the beginning. Chosen one, as this message comes to an end, let this truth settle deeply in your spirit. Your life was never meant to be easy, it was meant to be effective. Every tear you cried carried purpose. Every delay you endured carried protection. Every battle you survived carried instruction. Nothing was wasted. Nothing was random. Nothing was overlooked. You were being shaped in ways others could not see, so you could stand in places others could not survive. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are not broken. You are prepared. The same God who carried you through confusion will lead you into clarity. The same God who held you in silence will now amplify your voice. The same God who allowed the pressure will release the promise. Do not fear what is coming, you were built for it. Do not shrink back, you were trained for this moment. Do not doubt, heaven has already approved your next step. Chosen one, walk forward with confidence. Walk forward with humility. Walk forward with obedience. Your suffering produced strength. Your waiting produced wisdom. Your obedience produced authority. And now the season changes. What was hidden will be revealed. What was delayed will be released. What was painful will become powerful. You were not chosen by accident. You were chosen on purpose. And your journey is just beginning.